say, oh, please tip me because tipping is the best way and I get it right away.
Hello. Welcome to James, the Lesser Express sign, where we get you in and out as fast as possible with a man who can buy $70 sandwiches and afford a $7 game for his business. Mind you, $7 game is a business expense. He gets to write off on his taxes. Anyways, let's watch.
You know, and eventually, I mean, I live so close to it, I would like to visit Canada and see what's up there. I think it would be Vancouver would be the closest area, right?
See what's up there? I bet there's people up there. Some of them might even be detractors.
So I'd like to maybe do that someday too. But, right, you know, it's not in the cards anytime soon. I'm still recovering, and it's funny because people are like, you know, I guess they were, you know, not believing me or something. When you go through a bankruptcy, like I did 3.5, 4 years ago.
Yes, 3.5, 4 years ago, you declared bankruptcy and had over $130,000 worth of debt paid off. Just gone. Out of your hair. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Over $130,000 gone. Leaving you with back taxes, condo, and your car. But wait a minute. Guess what got paid off in July? His car. That is $378 a month, every month, that he gets to keep now. He gets to keep $378 a month, every month, since July. That means he had August, September, October, November, and now December. That is 5 months. That is $1,890 he's gotten to keep since then. Oh shit, there's a mortgage payment for you, buddy. But, anyways, let's continue.
This is a process of a decade of recovery. You have to understand that. Like, it takes a decade to rebuild your life, your credit, all of that.
What? Credit? Yes. Your life? What is there to recover from? Literally, what is there to recover from? That was what? 14 credit cards and or bank loans you don't have to pay a penny towards anymore. 13 or 14 credit cards and bank loans that you took, spent all the money on WWE Champions and Supercard and DBZ Dokkan Battle and all that, and then didn't pay back. Even at minimum payment, let's say you're $1,500 a month in minimum payments on all that shit. That was over 3 years ago. You're saving $1,500 a month every month for 3 years. You just saved yourself roughly $54,000. Guys, it was only $1,470 minimum payments. These detractors keep exaggerating. Fine, whatever. We'll throw the money you save from not having to pay on your car anymore towards that. So still, $54,000 across 3 years. Between not having to pay those credit cards, your bank loans, or your car anymore because you paid off your car. Where did that $54,000 go? Well, shit, that could have paid off your back taxes, couldn't it? Mister, that $50,000 from Keemstar would pay off my back taxes and pay for a nice vacation for me and my wife. It'd be a nice honeymoon to go on. So $54,000 would have paid off your back taxes with money left over. Nope, not DSP.
I need to do that. I have to do the work. I have to wait and be patient, and I have to hold out. And I just don't have the ability. I don't have the freedom financially to do much. You know, eventually I'll get there if I stick to my guns and I don't screw everything up. But
credit cards are not a lifeline, dude. They can be very useful. I put everything on mine because I get cash back. 1%, 2%, 5%, depending where it's at, what I'm spending on, I get cash back. So I put everything I can on there. Can't put car payment or the mortgage on there. They won't let you do that. But everything else, I do. Look at that cash back. Then I pay it off every month. That way I don't build any interest. I've never paid a penny in interest on my cards. I've only made money from my cards. I'm going to have to pay for my phone. I'm going to have to buy gas. I'm going to have to pay electric bill, right? May as well get 1%, 2%, 5% cash back.
right now I'm in limbo. I'm in a situation where I have to just ride it out. And hopefully the economy gets better. It's another thing, too. If the economy wasn't so bad in the United States, if inflation wasn't so bad, things would actually be going pretty good for me, but inflation has kind of ruined a lot of things for me too.
How? Did the price of DoorDash go up? Oh, I'm sorry. How about instead of ordering $70 sandwiches, spend that money and... Holy shit. Let's see, for $70... Let's say I went balls to the walls, got 3 pounds of 80% ground beef. Right now, what was that? Kroger, they had it set for like $3.99 a pound. That'd be $12. 2 pounds of rice for, let's say, $2. So we're at $14. Get some veggies. All right, we're gonna be cheap. We're gonna go with the frozen veggies. We'll do off-brand. Again, we're trying to save money here. So let's say for $20, also like butter and all that other stuff, but $20, I can make about 6.5, 7 pounds of food. $20. 8 meal and then have 5 bowls left over. He's got cats, so fine. They eat and then they have 2 bowls left over. Well, that's 2 meals for 2 people for $20 as opposed to 1 meal for 2 people for $70. You could do the exact same thing the next day. Well, 2 days later because you got food for the next day. So 2 days later, you can do it again. And then you can do it again. So $60 will get you 6 meals. You're spending $10 a meal because, Cat's not, watching what she's eating. We've seen the pictures. And no, I could be exaggerating how much she's eating, so it could be 7 days worth of food for $60. So you'd have $10 left over to blow on WWE champions. Just saying.
So I just gotta ride it out, and eventually maybe I'll afford to be able to go on a vacation. But right now it's just not. It's not in the cards. So I don't think about this. I don't. Why? I'm a realist. Why think about things that you can't do? If I know.
Well, that and your IQ is so subpar, I'm surprised you can even form senses at this point. Lots of people like to imagine what happened if they won the lottery. What would they do? I paid off all my debts, pay off my mom's debts, I get all my family. Like, hey, do you still have student loans? Oh, Grandma, you want to go visit your sister in Florida, but life just costs too much, and well, screw that. Here's first class for you, Grandma. Go visit your sister. Oh, and then once I get all that done, it's like, I'm gonna go to Hawaii for 2 weeks. I'm gonna have a hell of a time in Hawaii for 2 weeks. It's great to think about that kind of stuff. Or, that'd be another good one. Besides lottery. What happened if a meteor lands in your yard and it gives you superpowers? What would you do with those superpowers? Like, who hasn't thought about it? Man, would it be awesome to be Superman? Would I fight crime, though? Because there was that one episode of Superman where it's like he used his strength and speed to like plow fields for the price of being Superman and generate electricity and like pick up an iceberg and drop it in the desert so people have water. Like, you could totally do that. Can you imagine? It's like, oh, hey, these icebergs in these shipping lanes. Pick them up, drop one near Las Vegas. Hey, Las Vegas, you have water now. Pick up another one, drop it in the Gobi Desert, drop them in the Sahara. Or Superman go out of space. Could you imagine? I would go to NASA like, hey, I got Superman powers. I can literally go into outer space. You guys want moon rocks? I'll get you a fucking boulder from the moon. Or hey, put that astronaut in an astronaut suit. I'll fly him up there. Oh, could Superman fly to Mars? I'm not exactly sure how far Superman can go. Again, like Omni-Man, he could go fucking light years, so we'll say, fuck it. I'm gonna go to Mars. I'm gonna be the first man on Mars. The Wright brothers proved man could fly. Neil Armstrong proved man could walk on the moon. For this next step, I'll prove nothing is impossible for mankind. Bam! And then step on the moon, or step on Mars. And then collect a bunch of rocks. And they'll collect, like, oh, hey, where's this droid at? We believe its position was here when its batteries died. Can you imagine having that, like, at Smithsonian? The first rover to land on Mars, the last rover to land on Mars that stopped working. put all that shit in the Smithsonian because I can just fly to Mars. It's great thinking about shit like that. It'll never happen, but it's a fun thing. Like, what would you do if you had Superman powers? Okay, I'd totally be like, hey, NASA, I'm going to save you all the money. I'm going to go to the moon for you. I'm going to go to Mars for you. Oh, you want to see what this asteroid's made of? Well, fuck it. I'll just pick it up, drag it here to Earth. Set it down nice and gently outside of Houston. Wherever they want me to put it. Oh, well, there's a diamond the size of Texas floating around in outer space. Well, fuck it. I'll go up there and I'll start chipping off diamonds. Bring the price of those bitches down. Or, man, can you imagine you grab a comet that's made out of water? Like, oh, hey, there's this giant chunk of ice the size of Manhattan. And bring it down. Drop it. In whatever desert so it melts. Hey, plenty of water. And that has science, NASA people like, oh, you probably shouldn't do that. You're going to be adding all this water to the atmosphere. You're going to be causing flooding in these areas. Like, aw, but I'm trying to be helpful. Yeah, if you were to move it over here to this area, it'd be much more useful. Maybe split it up. All right, scientists, people from NASA, I'll go do that. That's fun to think about. But not DSP. He doesn't like to think.
No, I can't go on a big vacation. Why think about going on a big vacation? Wait until it's feasible to do it and then think about it and plan it and do it, right? I can't do it right now. You know, I can't. I told you guys, I didn't work the week of Halloween because I was so sick.
You missed like 3 days.
I haven't recovered from that.
And one of those days would have been your day off.
Big money on YouTube, okay? So now I'm behind on shit, and now I'm trying to play catch up, which is why I wouldn't have been able to afford Baldur's Gate this week. You know, that's my life, and there's nothing I can do about it. That's what.
Again, door dashing, multiple meals a week, can't afford Baldur's Gate 3. A game he can write off for his business.
What happens when you go through these financial problems? Things will get better eventually, but I have to.
No, wait a minute. At the beginning of the month, you got that payment from Patreon. All those videos you got to make for Slayer, was it? Pretty sure Slayer wanting all those private videos made. Just saying, you could use that Patreon money to buy Baldur's Gate 3.
To stick to my guns, and you know, I understand. You look at someone like me. I'm a full-time content creator, and you sit on a stream and you see contributions come in, and you think, oh, this guy's probably rolling in dough and everything. It couldn't be further from the truth. You know, because of bad decisions that I made in the past, I'm paying for them every day. I still got obligations, agreements, and things that I'm paying off every.
Back taxes and HOA fees for your condo in a private community. Oh, and the condo itself. You had just stuck to Connecticut. But guys, they had a 1.4% income tax. Yeah. That condo was way cheaper than the condo you were at, including HOA fees. Gee, you could have had your actual condo paid off by now. You saved yourself a fuck ton of money. Way more than 1.4% they're going to be paying in state income tax, whatever it was. It's something ridiculous. Like, he literally bankrupted himself to get away from some ridiculous number. 1.4%, 1.6%. It's something fucking stupid. Like, it is insanely stupid that I'm going to move to a state that doesn't have a state income tax. Yeah, but they got a business tax, bitch.
Every single day, and it's going to be going on endlessly for a long time. And there's nothing I can do about that. That's just life. That's the reality of my adult life. You know, it is what it is. I'm not sitting here bitching about it.
He says as he's bitching about it.
But it does irk me when people say things like, why don't you travel? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Of course I'd like to do that, but I'm not like your favorite YouTuber who sits there rolling in dough, right? Has 4, 5, 10 times more views than me and has the freedom to go on vacation for a month and doesn't have to worry about, oh, I didn't make money this month. You know, I never will have that flexibility probably ever in my life.
You used to. You used to go on all kinds of vacations. And then you blew it all on fucking mobile games.
So I'm more like you. I work my ass off. I made mistakes. I'm paying my debts, right? It is what it is. I don't have the freedom to just run away and do crazy stuff. I would love to, but I can't, you know?
Yes, he'd love to be able to go out and spend more money. But he can't, guys. It's just impossible for him. It is just insane to think that his job is to play video games. But instead of buying video games for his job, he wasted on who knows what the fuck is going on. Like, holy shit, the stuff he's wasted his money on is insane. I was like, alright, the trophy, the statues and the figurines. Right, well, he was making a lot. He was making like $300,000 in a single year back then. Alright, so... okay, you buy that kind of stuff. But the issue is, when he went from 300,000 to 100,000, he kept buying stupid shit. When you can afford something and you buy it, okay, whatever, you can afford it. But when you can't afford it and you still fucking buy this kind of shit, you're an idiot. It is mind-boggling to think that instead of cutting back on his spending, he just begged harder and then declared bankruptcy when he ran up his fucking credit cards. One card was over $25,000. You're going to tell me that was all spent on bills that he needed to pay for? No. It was Dokkan Battle. It was Final Fantasy Estivus. It was Marvel's Twin Alliance, Future Flight, whatever the fuck it was called. It was Supercard. It was Immortals. It was Champions. It was just, holy shit, the fucking money he's wasted on stupid shit. Or he's like, I don't like to think about stuff that I can't do, so I just don't think about it. I like to think about, what would I have done if for the past 15 years, my worst year was $130,000. My worst year was $130,000. Well, first thing I would have done was pay my taxes. Second thing I would have done, I'd have no debt. Like, oh no, Walter's heart is giving out. His tremendous is about to blow. All right, got to get a new car. Well, instead of leasing 2 BMWs and then buying a Toyota that I don't pay off except for minimum payments, I'd have gone, I don't know, probably Volvo. My friend used to work for Volvo. He always talked about how great they are. He has 2 Volvos. Only one of them was made in this century. They're still running fine. So I'd probably go to Volvo, like, hey, you got the new E70 Sportage, whatever car they're called. Yeah, I want one. Bam. Paid for. Fuck your loan. Fuck your interest. Bam. Paid for. Oh, let's say I'm getting a house. Let's see. Would have been about 8 years ago. Would have been 7 years of making, at that point, that was probably around his $300,000 a year time. So, gee, I got $300,000. I'm going to buy a house. Do I buy a house that's worth $500,000? Or do I buy a house that's worth under $100,000? And then just show up with the money, go, ba-da! All right, we're done. Thank you for the house. Goodbye. No interest. But it's crazy to think about how, like, could have very easily paid off that. He could have just bought a Toyota flat out. Very easily, he could have just bought that Toyota. Could have been, screw you guys, I'm buying a Toyota. And then bought it. Instead, he made minimum payments, paying, what was it, like 6% Paying 6% interest on a fucking car? How? I am paying 0.9% interest on my car. He was paying like 6% interest on his car. And he made the minimum payments every month for 6 years. 6 years of minimum payments at a time when he could have just shown up and gone, plop, some of the car, goodbye. And actually, if he had done that, he probably would have saved money. If you show up to a car dealership and go, hey, I don't need to really negotiate, no, because I'm not worried about loans. I have, let's see, you want $22,000 before taxes and fees and all this stuff. You want 22 grand? Well, here's $21,000. Sell it to me for 21 grand after taxes and fees. Guess what? They'd probably do it. So my friend got his motorcycle for 5 grand. He showed up with 5 grand, pointed at the bike he wanted, said, plop. All right, there's 5 grand. Sell that bike to me for 5 grand. And they did. After taxes and fees and everything. $5,000 off the lot. God. It would be nice to make the kind of money he does. But he drives his truck 4 days a week. But then on Saturday, he's doing work on the truck. On Sunday, he's doing work on the truck. His really only day off is Mondays. He usually only takes Mondays off from everything. And even then, sometimes, I've had to follow him out to Mommy where he drives his truck up for work and all that, pick him up, come back, and then we hang out, and then 6 hours later, oh, they're done working on the truck, drive him back. So even on his days off, he's still working. And then he's got to deal with fucking idiots of, all right, I'll sell you this tool package for $20 a week for the next 20 weeks. All right, first week they pay, second week they pay, third week they pay, fourth week they don't. They don't have $20 fucking dollars. They're, oh, you better have $40 for me next week, or I'm repossessing the bitch. Come back next week. Where the fuck are they? Oh, they moved to Colorado. Oh, I'm boned. Just out that money. I could not deal with that. I could not deal with how the fuck do you not have $20 fucking dollars? You agreed to pay me $20 a week across 20 weeks. Sell you those tools. That was our agreement. And then 4 weeks later, you don't have $20 fucking dollars. And if he's lucky, they'll pay him $40 the next week. And again, I mentioned Denver one because someone actually did that. They fucking moved to Denver. Took all this shit and moved. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? I could not deal with that. Nope. There's a reason why my friend drinks so much. And I don't. Because I don't do that kind of stressful shit. Because I know that stuff would stress me the fuck out. Alright, I've rambled on long enough. Sorry about that, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, like, subscribe, comment down below, and have one hell of a day.